drawing things to a close, in both literary standpoints, Vine is at this point, October 29th, 30th, whatever the fuck day it is today, is going to be dead. And it was acquired from Twitter back in 2013 and pretty much had been the staple of what made small caption movies, not small caption, but you know what I'm saying, quick burst of fucking film into something as popular of shit that developed into your Snapchats. And fucking even Instagram adopted that shit with way more time frames, giving way too much time to actually be creative in the essence of what small 6 seconds had pushed. It was just fucking genius. Now it kind of goes to show how bad it's probably popping off there in the Twitter sphere, because Vine has like over 2 million members. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers got famous off of it. I'm mad myself that I didn't, but you know, I wasn't giving it half a quarter of the shit that some motherfuckers actually put into this thing, and it became, you know, legitimate business. And for the comedians and actors and writers who, you know, lucked up off of that, like fucking A, hat goes off to you. And it's just a way of just showcasing how you can blow up if you really put your mind to it and are heavily marketed properly. But regardless of all that, you know, they're gonna die, and the service is gonna end, and they're gonna give you the ability maybe to download all your stuff, so you know, just not thrown away. But it's sad, and of course, just like they do in the technology sphere, porno saves the day. You know, that's what kind of popped off shit for virtual reality. So supposedly, and we'll see, you know, in the future, but supposedly PORNhub is looking to buy Vine. Now, you know what? I will fucking say, one of the things that I miss the most, that I'm gonna miss if it doesn't exist anymore, I don't get on it too often. I just eventually will look for compilations of it on YouTube. But I love seeing fucking bitches get down, and people will show they wholeness. Let us not forget the phrase, do it for the Vine, do it for the Vine, do it for the Vine, I did it! Some bullshit, like, you know, you get hyped for it. You really throw your inhibitions in the wind like a fucking shot of Dak and hoe up from the flow up. And anyways, I love hashtag white girls twerk better, because it just shows some baddies, some legitimately scary, sexy, pale goddesses getting down, and others just some really dumb bitches fucking making ridiculousness out of themselves. But either which way, it's fucking entertaining. And I've seen a lot of dirty shit on there, you know, by accident, kinda. And it makes sense. Well, not so much that it makes sense, but it kind of connects dots as to, you know, how it could be acquired. I'm wondering what will happen from it. I'm wondering if maybe they will, and I know this is kind of far out there, but what if they were to make like a dating site off of that? And I mean, that we'd probably have to live in a world of prostitution in order for that to be able to make money, other than your information of you being a horn dog, which Tinder already puts on blast. It's interesting, and it's fucking. I'm wondering what's gonna happen from it. Like I said, at the time of this recording, it's just been a rumor. I'm not too sure how the rumor was started or what the amount is. I'm not too sure if this is just to create buzz. I mean, fucking you got me talking about it, and there was enough bullshit to go on to think that it might be possible. So we'll see. And hopefully y'all can keep doing it for the Vine. And just to kind of, I don't know if it's just a recap or to kind of have a memoriam of Vines, I'm going to play a couple things and to kind of recap, give love and show love to. So this is from 2013 to 2016. So my bitch don't like to share him, but that being confused.
We in this bitch, finna get crunk. Eyebrows on fleek, the fuck.
That's been remixed a lot. This is like a fucking little blow doll or chew toy.
How you doing, Sister Siri?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
All right, now.
There you go.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
Damn, Daniel.
This is the most annoying shit.
Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Get it again.
This nigga got free shoes.
Who are you finna try? I bet it ain't me. Ooh, bitch, it ain't me. Caps, caps, caps. Who are you finna?
Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
This nigga in jumpsuit.
Do that in the cup? Oh, shit!
There's someone playing basketball with a toddler.
Yams. Sweet potato yams.
This is just a white dude wearing a fucking do-rag with it waving in the air. Don't really understand it.
It's not
little black kids. This is hilarious. He really has a face of like, cut it out. And these right now are three white people, nay, and very awkwardly.
All the time. I wouldn't fucking flirt with her. I would fucking communicate, conversate, associate. You ain't never heard of shit like that?
This is a wipeout, and the kid just gets fucking smack dab in the back and just catching a bunch of other kids. And this is just some white bitch. Looks like she's in I guess she's famous. She's a news report bitch. Telling herself in the car.
Pepsi bottle, a Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn.
That's rebel shit right there. Right here's with the cute white little bitch that gets hit in the back of the head with a shovel. Woo! Good detail. This is a white boy making an epic fail of a basketball shot. It looks like he just slam dunked it. Look at that excited. This dude being attacked by a fucking raccoon. Never seen that shit before. This is a cat getting a bath. Sounds like you're saying no water. Yeah. So, and honestly, like I said, some of the dopest shit. And part of it, I'm not too sure if it's World Star that actually shows some of the fucking compilation shits. It's usually the ones that's the most notable because it always has a bitch talking again, showing off her whole activities at the very end. But I think that's what made Run special. Hoisms. God bless them. And God bless all of you. And may the things that we lose in death, take us further in our new life, whether that be of resurrection or just growth from that in which no longer is. And in that same essence, I want to, like we did back in the day, give a sacrifice, give thanks to the Lord, whether in being glorious scent, like whatever your favorite marijuana flavor is, or incense, or maybe bloodshed, just pure blessings, because we got to speak it.
I wanna dedicate.
Now, the first thing I wanted to really kind of give thanks for, besides, of course, being able to wake up every day and breathe and live another day and all that shit, is that Nintendo has announced that it's going to have a new system, a new home system, I guess, even though part of its shit is that it's mobile. Now, it's called a Nintendo Switch, and you might have already heard about it through the Facebooks and shit, because old girl, who's definitely not a fucking gamer, heard all about me, and knew that I was probably shit my panties somewhere, and I kind of was, because for the longest time, we've been referencing the Nintendo NX, which I'm guessing meant the next generation, and we've been waiting to try to see what they're going to come out with that's going to compete with your PS4 and your Xbox One, because even the PS4 is going to have its PlayStation 4 Pro, and Xbox has its whatever the hell code name Scorpio that has yet to be released. Well, Nintendo had been for the longest, there's just been rumors and speculation about the next system. But like I said, now that it's out, or it's going to come out, because it was just a teaser commercial showcasing that's pretty much like a more defined version of the Wii U. And if you hadn't heard about the Wii U, you probably didn't, because you confused it with the fucking Wii and didn't think anything about it. And this is what pisses me off, because I have the Nintendo Wii U, and it kind of almost seems like a Fisher-Price version of what this Switch is, because it has a tablet, but it's big, it's clunky, the battery life doesn't last too long, and you can only be so many feet away from the actual system, because it's not a system itself. It's just merely a controller of a fat retarded iPad of a controller that is. Well, anyways, this new shit, which there's already rumors and leaks of that kind of technology, pretty much is up there along the rings of your Xbox and your PlayStation 4 now, as it is, not in comparison to the next reiterations that there's going to be of them, which could kind of be confusing, but not really. Just know that it's barely about to meet the fucking bar. It's barely meeting the bare minimum. They're jumping into that, even though that's what the Wii U is supposed to be. Anyways, they know that they did it wrong by the brand recognition of it and just having it be a continuance of Wii, which had been their biggest, highest selling system. I mean, you probably have that in the closet. You probably have the Wii in the closet somewhere collecting dust. Your grandparents probably have this game. They probably played golf, or not golf, bowling or some shit. It was just something that fucking was able to captivate the masses, which is why I think they went the Wii U route, bringing in a fucking touchpad, since everyone has tablets of some sort. But this shit next generation of that. So much so to where you can literally hook the left and right piece that would make it into a controller, which, like I said, if you'll see it, and right now it's just a teaser. They aren't really gonna announce it until next year. So January, once they have their quarterly meeting or however the hell that shit works in Japan, they're gonna showcase their real price and more about the specs. Right now it's just kind of cute to look at, but not really giving too much information, but just enough to get motherfuckers hella excited. And it was in time of their investors meeting, which had gone up, and I guess after everyone had talked shit with more questions than answers, they then plummeted back down. Now, Nintendo, for those who didn't know, is even though they're a Japanese company in the United States, they're actually based in Oregon or Seattle or some shit. I mean, so much so that they actually owned a majority of the Seattle Mariners. And the reason why they were profitable this past year has been because of the sale of the Seattle Mariners. So that was one of their biggest assets that they needed in order to be able to make money, which I thought was dope. And I talked about this back in I'm Black, He's Mexican podcast before, about how they'd got it because they were in need of it, and they figured because we're neighbors, so to speak, in the same state, we're gonna help you out, give some money. You know, they had money to wipe their ass with. So I mean, they had the dough, and now they're just invested in technology that can hopefully make it to where you can have your at-home console experience literally on the go. If there's one thing that Nintendo knows how to do, it's how to make a fucking portable system. From the days of Game Boy to Game Boy Color to Advance to fucking DS to the 3DS to the XLs to the new 3DS XL and every fucking iteration. They know that kind of hardware. They know the kind of battery life that can last. They know cartridges, which this game is based on, and that was the one fuck up that people thought of when, you know, GameCube, which was back when it was PlayStation 2, the original OG Xbox, and their Nintendo system at the time was GameCube, codenamed Dolphin. It used these little mini discs, which could barely hold like 1.5 gigs possibly. So most games, if they're big games, it came with 2, and unfortunately became thus inferior because it didn't contain as much as a DVD file would. But they did it because they didn't want to be pirated, which was smart and dumb at the same time, because eventually they figure how to do shit in ROM form. But Nintendo, who knows cartridges, is bringing that back. And now, fucking like an SD, 16 gig fucking SanDisk shit can only cost $20. So they're gonna be able to, you know, take advantage of that cheap memory usage, because the game can usually be about 16 gigs or more, depending on how big. And if y'all own a current gen console, you know that once you get it, the fucking developers fucked up, and there's like a day one patch that you had to get the very moment you pop the bitch in, and it takes like half an hour. You know what I'm talking about. So one of the worries that I had, because I know that Sony had the PlayStation Vita, which is pretty much like a portable PlayStation 3, but it was hella expensive because, once again, trying to stay away from ways of being pirated, they made special little cards that pretty much made shit all the more expensive and more of a bitch to have to buy. And people didn't want to invest in that kind of shit, especially since, I don't know, I mean, the fucking reasons for it. I ended up getting one once I knew the bitch was dead, so I was hoping shit was going to be cheaper. It wasn't, but it's still one of those things that I'm able to take with me to get real, you know what I'm saying, hardcore gaming sort of shit if ever I fucking have the time. So it's a good look. I'm excited to see how that comes out. It's definitely on a wish list, but just like anything, I don't want it the first iteration because I know they're gonna figure something out wrong with it, and it's gonna only get better. So then it just kind of comes down to whether you want to be that motherfucker that's in the know, you know, first and foremost, day one, you know. That just sounds expensive, nigga. That ain't my style. But either which way, I'm thankful for that, and I'm excited to see what happens. We'll fucking see. If Nintendo doesn't sell great with this one, if it doesn't exceed the sales of the WiiU, then they might be over as a console company, which, I mean, would make me feel sad, but then it kind of would make me feel happy that they could then hopefully be in other platforms. And since there's 2 other big bosses, the Sony and Microsoft, and me myself being a Sony man, I can't wait to fucking play my Zeldas and my Marios on fucking PlayStation. I don't have to fucking buy all these different types of shit. We'll see. I don't want no harm. I'm just excited. And if you didn't hear me geek out, then you would know what kind of person I am. But, back to the gangster. Now I'm a creature of habit and definitely of tradition. And we always got to heave-ho a bitch into the fire. So without further ado, this dedication goes to Kate Cato Lambert. She's a model, actress, I guess. They call it cosplay actresses, which is just a fancy word for a bitch in a costume. She's a clothing designer, makeup artist, all around badass bitch. Pale as the good Lord intended for beauty to be, by power. And she's wild. She's wicked. Google her. Or if you're watching a YouTube video, then you'll see her pretty face prancing around. And I wish I could show you the nude pictures of her off Steamy Girl or Steam Girl. But man, I mean, I wouldn't pay $12 a month to look at this bitch. But yo, there must be a cabaret of motherfuckers that are, because she's able to live off of that. Anyways, and if any of you know about steampunk, it's like a subgenre of science fiction or science fantasy that pretty much incorporates technology and aesthetics designed by like 19th century industrial steam powered machinery of modern day shit. So for example, there's a game that there's the reason why I wanted a PlayStation 4 besides to play the series of God of War. It's called The Order 1886. It's pretty much like back in the fucking Abraham Lincoln days of having fucking, I don't know, cellular devices, shotguns, and saying shit of that nature. Shit that just wasn't, exactly designed at that moment, but they made it work. So that shit just all types of geekery. Anyways, this bitch got into it. She pretty much she kind of grew with the fad of what that was, and I forget the name of the show, but it's on Netflix. It's some kind of, just type in steampunk, and it was like a competition of motherfuckers who pretty much were craftsmen and cosplay players. Pretty much you go to Comic-Con and grab 5 motherfuckers that happen to be in love with the genre, and that's what it was a competition of. And they pretty much built rooms for a manor that would be, steampunk-esque, and it was very entertaining. Of course, it had its drama. It was your typical fucking reality show. It was literally made and broadcasted by TV Land, so it didn't have the highest production, but once again, you get the right ingredients, you're gonna cook something. Anyways, this bitch was a judge, and man, I'd be captivated every time that I saw her, and I couldn't believe what the fuck I was looking at. And it's unreal because she does her makeup on her eyes to make herself anime-esque. She wears the cutest little fucking like corsets and ages them to look, of course, steampunk style, and fucking gives her the raw hourglass kind of thing. I remember reading a story actually on Tumblr about some bitch who fell in love with her, who was flown out to their little compound house, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know if she lived with some Asian dude or some shit that pretty much played daddy, because if they wanted another girlfriend, she had to, let the nigga hit it too, which God bless him. And they must have had some money. But regardless, she made her way and pretty much kind of created a career for herself in emphasizing in what she has. And once again, unfortunately, it's one of those things where your poetry, rings true and gives you, a bit of value. But again, it's something that just became a crazy. I don't know if it's still a fad. I imagine, and I wish I was bold enough, healthy enough to, be out there at the Comic-Cons and shit dressing up. Because Lord knows I'd be showing my ass if I could. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kate Lambert, just all around bad bitch. Definitely lets me know that Lucy is Lucifer. And that bitch is always in a bad dress, and I'm sure she never wears the same panties twice, if she even wears panties at all. So yeah, God bless and bless up. That's gonna bring this show to a close. Again, this is your host, Soul Papo, where you can reach me, online at pretty much any social media at SoulPapo. And I don't really get on too much unless, I want to do something that I don't have to commit to anything. You can reach me at, or you can go to www.soulpapo.tumblr.com. Say what's up right there. Be all up in the DMs. Tell me something I'm pretty. But you can also be a producer of the show if you like. So you can go to patreon.com/SoulPapo. And as always, one of these days, me and Verse can get back together and do another IBHM podcast. For those that don't know, that's the Black East Mexican podcast. So, yo, God bless. Stay up. And if you didn't like this podcast, you're probably racist. You can't stand it, bro. I'm about to fucking being all up in some white gushiness. How dare ya? And fuck Halloween. So,
Here comes Robocop, right down Detroit Lane.
This is her.
He is mostly a machine, but he's got a human brain.
Have my bed.
He will help you decorate your house at Christmas Eve. But if you think
Kiki. Happy birthday, Jesus.